groups of settlers were making their way to America, the trip across the Atlantic was deadly. Many died at sea, and many who successfully made the long voyage were later killed by hostile Indians, disease, and starvation. So why did the Pilgrims come? They were searching for religious freedom. And as they worked to decide just where they would go, they sought out God's will. They fasted and prayed for months, seeking God's will. And then they left it in God's powerful hands. And they told him, Lord, thy will be done. Wow, what faith. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Washington State News Network, I'm Rob Francis. The Washington State Patrol has put out an Amber Alert after a 14-year-old West Richland girl went missing over the holiday weekend. Emma Ludahl was last seen in Pasco around 3 p.m. on Friday. The girl is believed to be with a 35-year-old named Roger Perez Osordo, driving a blue 2006 Honda Civic four-door with Oregon license plates.
We're not 100% sure on their relationship, if any at all. So we're still looking into that.
That's West Richland Police Commander Mitchell Coates. Emma is 5'1", 115 pounds, with brown hair, brown eyes, and last seen wearing a dark brown sweatshirt and white leggings. The West Richland Police Department asks anyone with information to contact them via their non-emergency number, 509-628-0333. An investigation continues into a deadly shooting at an Everett Park. Police say one man was shot and killed early yesterday morning at Henry M. Jackson Park. He was declared dead at the scene. Witnesses described hearing multiple gunshots. Police do not have a suspect in custody at this time. And Pearson, Snohomish County is having poor air quality. As a result, burn bans are in effect. Puget Sound Clean Air Energy announced a Stage 1 air quality burn ban for Snohomish over the weekend. It will remain in effect until tomorrow. The agency also issued a burn ban for Greater Pierce County yesterday morning. That remains in effect until further notice. For more on these stories and others, download our WSNN mobile app or visit our website, WashingtonStateNews.net.
If you're a contractor, it's now easier for you to do business with the Department of Labor and Industries. Go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line and make an appointment with us ahead of time. No waiting around, no wasted time away from your job site. You get in, get out, and get on your way. Easy. So contractors, just go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line to make an appointment and get back to doing what you do best.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. International attempts to mediate in the Israeli-Hamas conflict continue, which calls for a durable ceasefire and a longer-term solution.
International pressure is building not only for the current truce to be extended, but for new momentum to be injected into trying to find a way to resolve the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians. The EU's head of diplomacy, Josep Borrell, has said that a Palestinian state in the West Bank, Jerusalem and Gaza would be the best guarantee for Israel's security and peace. There's been a growing chorus of such calls in recent weeks, but little detail on how the many obstacles that have long prevented any real progress on a two-state solution could be surmounted.
BBC correspondent Sebastian Usher reporting. A forced swap of hostages for prisoners under the deal was expected later today. So far, Hamas has released 58 hostages, including 39 Israelis, during the current truce, while Israel has released 117 Palestinian prisoners. Also at townhall.com, Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer says he'll bring a Ukraine aid bill up for a vote on the Senate floor by December 4th. Bob Agnew reports.
Schumer writes in a letter to colleagues that one of the most important jobs facing lawmakers is passing a funding bill that will, quote, ensure we, as well as our friends and partners in Ukraine, Israel, and the Indo-Pacific region have the necessary military capabilities to confront and deter our adversaries. He's also setting the stage for a fierce battle with Republicans by refusing to include funding for U.S. border security. And although the bill includes aid for Israel, it also provides more money for humanitarian aid to Palestinians in Gaza. Assistance, some critics say, will go directly into the hands of Hamas terrorists. Bob Agnew reporting.
The Dow is down 65 points, but the NASDAQ is up 6 points. More at townhall.com.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-858-1199. That's 800-858-1199.
Stop overpaying for wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk saves the average family about $1,000 a year on the most dependable 5G network in the U.S. You can get unlimited talk, text, and plenty of high-speed data for just $30 a month. If you're ready to cut your wireless bill in half, dial pound 250 and say keyword spend less, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say spend less, and make the switch to Pure Talk today.
Former President Trump, the frontrunner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, hints at an expanded role for the military within the U.S.
Trump has spoken openly about his plans should he win the presidency, including using the military at the border and in cities struggling with violent crime like New York and Chicago. His plans also have included using the military against foreign drug cartels. The Insurrection Act, a law first crafted in the nation's infancy, would give Trump as commander-in-chief almost unfettered power to do so, an authority that is not reviewable by the courts. I'm Julie Walker.
Joe Biden has chosen a White House holiday decor she hopes will inspire guests to feel like kids again. Magic, wonder, and joy is her theme. It celebrates the poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Breaking news at townhall.com. There are growing efforts underway to stop the waste of food.
A number of states are working to keep food out of landfills over concerns the waste is taking up too much space and posing environmental issues. Globally, about a third of all food is wasted, but in the United States, it's 40%. California and others have passed laws requiring food waste to be composted, while others require supermarkets to redirect food to pantries. They say it saves landfill space, also gives poor families more choices. Jason Walker reporting.
A hearing is set to begin to help determine whether a Georgia railroad can legally condemn property to build a rail line to serve a rock quarry. People don't want the train track passing through or near their property. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Monday, November 27th. An historic old school building in Port Angeles will be torn down. The board of the North Olympic History Center announced last week it is moving ahead with demolishing the former Lincoln Elementary School building at 8th Street in Port Angeles near C Street. Bill Brigden, the president of the board, said, quote, "This was a very difficult decision, but it comes after more than 3 years of researching alternative uses, gathering cost estimates for renovation, and conducting extensive community outreach to seek possible partners or purchasers for the Lincoln School." The History Center is in the process of establishing a time frame for the demolition process, as well as exploring opportunities for recycling building components. They said that despite investing $500,000 into stabilizing the building since buying the school in 1991, including constructing a new roof, internal structure enhancements, and pouring a new concrete floor, the History Center has been unable to halt the rapid deterioration of the 107-year-old masonry building. The most recent estimate for restoring Lincoln School is about $12 million, making it a commercially unattractive project for investors, according to a release from the History Center. Now with a look at some things that happened over the past few days, here's Sandy Keys and his weekend wrap-up.
Starting with a quick review of Thanksgiving Day Thursday, sadly, there were 3 reported attempted or threatened suicides, 2 in Port Angeles, 1 in Sequim. Plus, separately, authorities completed 2 death investigations in Sequim and 1 in Port Angeles. There were only 3 disturbances, 15 traffic stops, and just 1 vehicle accident. 2 thefts in Port Angeles, 2 in Sequim. And now, turning to Black Friday, traffic accidents shot up to 8 as traffic stops dropped to just 9. And the same as the day before, 2 death investigations, both in Port Angeles, and 2 assaults, 1 each in Port Angeles and Sequim. Traffic stops went up to 21 Saturday, and traffic accidents went down to 8. With Thanksgiving goodwill fading away, we saw a revival of assaults, 2 Saturday, and house fire calls Saturday made to a chimney fire along 101 East Port Angeles, an electrical fire in Forks, and a structure fire Saturday evening at West Lordson Boulevard. Weekend thefts totaled 9, and there were burglaries at Gun Road, Port Angeles Friday, and Olson Road, Sequim Saturday. Plus, at least 2 so-called in-house thefts occurred Thanksgiving Day. The first just before dinner was served at a Caroline Street address where a fine black cat was discovered to have stolen and removed slices of turkey just before dinner and had his private celebration under the table, but not for long. And an East 5th Street family had finished dinner, retired to the living room for football and cell phones, waiting for a while before they had the beautiful cheesecake on the dining room table. It was not to be. The Chihuahua was discovered on the table, one paw in the cheesecake, face behind guilty eyes, smeared with cheesecake. She found herself in a cage, diet reduced to dry kibbles and water. Sandy Keys, Radio Pacific Local News.
In other news, the stretch of Highway 101 between Sequim and Port Angeles has one of the highest rates of cars colliding with deer in all of western Washington. That's according to the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife. It's warning drivers that deer are especially active this time of year as the mating season is at its peak. Add to that the fact that a huge number of deer are migrating from high country to lower elevations where they spend the winter. It all adds up to the need for drivers to be extra vigilant to protect both themselves and deer. WSDOT maintenance crews removed roadkill from state highways and have been tracking the number of carcasses, including deer and elk, since the mid-1970s. Data from those efforts suggests that about 5,000 collisions with deer and nearly 300 collisions with elk occur each year in our state. Numbers from 2018 through 2022 estimate that there are well over 13,000 annual deer vehicle collisions in Washington. Backers of an effort to repeal Washington's carbon market said last week they have enough signatures to put it before lawmakers and possibly put it to voters next year. They submitted more than 400,000 signatures for Initiative 2117. It would repeal the climate law. That's more than will be needed to make it to the ballot, but the signatures must be verified by the Secretary of State's office first. It's one of 6 initiatives, mostly seeking to roll back laws passed by the Democratic majority legislature that supporters are trying to get before voters next year. This is Newsradio KONP.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Building a future, sharing a dream, working together, we're on the same team.
At Straight View Credit Union, we know that buying a home is a big decision, and that's why we're committed to offering local decisions made by local decision makers. Our mortgage team is comprised of experienced professionals who are intimately familiar with the Clallam County housing market, ensuring that you get the personalized attention and expertise you deserve. We're here to help you navigate the home buying process and make the best decisions for your unique financial situation. Plus, as a member-owned cooperative, we prioritize the needs of our members and our local community over profits. That's why we're proud to offer great mortgage rates that help support our members' dreams of homeownership. Straight View Credit Union, your trusted local financial partner. Visit us online at svcu.com or stop by our branch on Lincoln Street in PA. Insured by NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Are you ready for the December celebrations and festivities? Well, at Foghorn Olive Oil and Wine Bar, we sure are. The key to making this season truly enjoyable is preparation, and that's where we come in. We are your one-stop destination for thoughtful gifting. Picture this, a beautifully wrapped gift that's bursting with freshness and flavor. At Foghorn, we know that nothing says you're special better than our exquisite range of olive oils and balsamic vinegars. These are not just gifts, they're moments of joy, thoughtfulness, and pure indulgence. Whenever your loved ones savor these culinary delights, they'll be reminded of you. And the best part? We've got an array of products and flavors to choose from. From zesty to sweet, there's something to delight everyone on your list. Don't wait. Make your list, check it twice, and come on down to Foghorn Olive Oil and Wine Bar, because the joy of giving is just around the corner. Foghorn Olive Oil and Wine Bar, where holiday gifting meets exceptional taste. Cheers to a delicious December. Hurry, the festivities await.
The Port Angeles Fine Arts Center invites you to the Wintertide Festival of Lights. Join us in bringing light to Webster's Woods during the Community Lantern Walk. Enjoy a fire performance and new interactive art stations, food and drinks, holiday shopping at the Makers Market, and light art installations throughout the park. Join us on Saturday, December 9th from 4:30 to 8 p.m. at the Port Angeles Fine Arts Center. Get your tickets today at pafac.org.
Check the weather forecast. Rest of today, mostly sunny. Highs in the mid-40s, maybe touching low 50s. Mostly clear tonight, lows in the low to mid-30s. And then sunshine for Tuesday with your highs in the mid to upper 40s. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, lows will be in the mid-30s. And then mostly sunny again Wednesday with your highs in the 40s. Wednesday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then mostly cloudy. A little rain rolls in after midnight Wednesday night. Lows will be in the low to mid-30s. We're going to be cloudy, a little rainy on Thursday, highs in the mid-40s, and cloudy and rainy Thursday night with lows in the low to mid-30s. Rain likely in the morning on Friday, then again late in the afternoon with highs in the mid-40s. Rain at times in the evening Friday night, then again likely late after midnight. Lows in the mid-30s Friday night and into the weekend. Saturday, rain at times, highs in the mid to upper 40s. Saturday night, more rain, lows in the mid to upper 30s. And Sunday, rain at times with your highs near 50. Right now, though, pretty nice out there. Mostly sunny across the North Peninsula. 44 at the East End in Port Townsend. Out west at Forks, it's 46. It's also 46 in Sequim, 45 in downtown Port Angeles, and it's 46 out at the airport.
Medicare open enrollment is here October 15th through December 7th, and if you're like most people on Medicare, you have questions. The statewide health insurance benefits advisors, known as SHEBA, can help inform you of your Medicare rights and options and see if you qualify for help with cost. SHEBA is a free, unbiased service provided by the Washington State Office of Insurance Commissioner. Get help today. Call SHEBA 1-800-562-6900 or visit insurance.wa.gov.
The 2024 KONP Home Show is back. We are now accepting vendor applications for the largest two-day marketing event on the peninsula. Put your business in the middle of thousands of potential clients. Booths start at just $450. The KONP Home Show will be Saturday and Sunday, March 9th and 10th, 2024. Sign up now for best locations and to lock in the lower rates. Call 360-457-1450 and get your space for the 39th annual KONP Home Show.
Here's a look at what's happening. Peninsula College's Jazz Ensemble inviting community members of all ages to a couple of free concerts this fall. Both take place at the Port Angeles campus of Peninsula College. Listen to Jazz in the Pub over lunch this Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Bring your own lunch or purchase a meal from the college's market and deli. And then the Fall Jazz Concert is set for Tuesday, December 5th. That'll be at 7 p.m. in the Meyer Performance Hall. Both the concerts are free and open to the public. Volunteers from End of Life Washington will present End of Life Ready from 2 to 4 this Thursday. The free presentation being held in the KSQM Community Room at 609 West Washington Street in Sequim. The program designed to provide resources for planning ahead and reducing anxiety for one of life's major transitions, the end of life. Fullness of Joy Floral will have a holiday market with over 35 local makers gathering. Come enjoy Friday evening, December 1st, 5 to 9 p.m. or all day Saturday, December 2nd from 9 to 4 p.m. with friends at the Coffee Box, shopping from their amazing, talented local artists for all of your Christmas gifts and goodies. Again, that's happening at the Coffee Box in Port Angeles Friday evening and all day on Saturday in Port Angeles. The Living Nativity is back December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The Carlsberg Family Church presenting this. It's 6 scenes of the Christmas story with 21 actors and live animals at 481 Carlsberg Road in Sequim. It goes 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and 7 p.m. with 4 40-minute showings December 1st, 2nd, 3rd. 'Tis the season for the Sequim Prairie Grange's Holiday Gift Fair. It's this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. There'll be more than 35 exhibitor tables filling up the Grange Hall, 290 Maclay Road in Sequim. Lunch will be served in the Grange kitchen for a small price. And that's a look at what's happening.
Go to the event, make it special with live classic hits from Black Diamond Junction. The band voted best on the peninsula the past 7 years in a row.
We hired BDJ for our anniversary party. Their classic hits were so good and kept all generations of our guests dancing.
What a great band and the best entertainers. We had them for an event and won't hesitate to bring them back again. No question.
BDJ made our annual family and friends party the best ever. So professional and great to work with.
Get more info at blackdiamondjunction.com or Black Diamond Junction on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey kids, it's me, Santa. Get ready, cause I'll be in town for the 16th annual KONP Breakfast with Santa, Saturday, December 9th. Enter to win a chance to have a yummy breakfast served up by the elves at Cocopelli Grill, while I hand out fantastic toys brought to us by our presenting sponsors and very good boys and girls at Black Ball Ferry, Peninsula Bottling, Olympic Game Farm, Leeds Farm Supply, and Field Arts and Events Hall. Here's my pal Rhonda, a reindeer in training, to tell you more.
Thanks, Santa. Adults, enter your child age 8 and under to win 4 tickets to the Breakfast with Santa at the Port Angeles Senior Center. All winners will be notified by December 4th. Doors open at 8 with yummy breakfast at 8:30. Enter now, cause Santa's on his way.
In Sequim, enter your child at Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales and the Co-op Farm and Garden.
Wall Street getting ready to wrap for the day in about 10 minutes. Let's head there for a Bloomberg Money Minute and the latest numbers on Wall Street.
Newsradio KONP Business.
It's 10 minutes in front of 1 o'clock now.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Just minutes ago ahead of the closing bell, and after 4 weeks in a row of gains, stocks today are on track to kick off the new week mixed and barely changed. Right now, the Dow and the S&P 500 down about 0.1%, the NASDAQ up 0.1%. That's despite Adobe saying U.S. shoppers spent a record amount on Black Friday, $9.8 billion, and could spend as much as $12.4 billion today, Cyber Monday. That would also be a record. But weighing on investors, a setback in housing. Sales of newly built homes in October down 5.5%. That's because of soaring mortgage rates and record high new home prices. The big decliner on Wall Street, shares of iRobot, maker of the Roomba robot vacuum. Shares down 18% on word that antitrust officials in Europe have serious concerns about Amazon's plans to buy the company for $1.4 billion. And after 2 deaths and 45 hospitalizations from salmonella, the FDA expanding a recall of whole and cut cantaloupes. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
Check on the traffic next, brought to you by McCrory Carpet One and Leeds Farm Supply.
Something astounding awaits you at McCrory Carpet One in Sequim, Port Angeles, and Port Hadlock. All McCrory Carpet One showrooms have been remodeled, revamped, reorganized, and are even better and more luxurious than before. Bigger displays, more options, updated styles, colors, and trends. McCrory Carpet One is the #1 place on the peninsula for any and all of your flooring needs. Check out their beautiful new showrooms in Sequim, Port Angeles, and Port Hadlock.
Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales is having their traditional Pictures with Santa, Saturday, December 2nd from 10 to 2. Santa will be on hand to take pictures with the kids, with you, or with any of your pets that you can get there. And bring your appetite because Southern Nibbles will be in the parking lot dishing up the food. All donations collected will be going to the Clallam County Junior Livestock Auction. Don't miss Pictures with Santa, Saturday, December 2nd, from 10 to 2 at Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales in Sequim.
News Radio KONP, traffic and roads.
Up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go now. That is where Steve's standing by with one last check of the noontime road and traffic conditions for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, been kind of a busy day out there if you're out driving around. Both Port Angeles and Sequim, a lot of traffic out there right now. Moving pretty much the speed limit through town. A little slowdowns at the stoplights, but overall not too awful bad out there. Highway between Port Angeles and Sequim is busy, but at the speed limit. If you're headed beyond, currently no scheduled openings of the Hood Canal Bridge, so we should be in good shape there. State ferries currently are running on time today. If you're headed out to the west end, 101's in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. Right now, just light traffic, light to moderate, and it is moving along at the speed limit. So everybody take care, be safe out there. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Coming up next hour on the Todd Ortloff Show, first part of the program, we're going to be talking about poinsettias, as well as some other things related to the Clallam County Master Gardener. Some great tips heading into the holidays about your plants and such. And then later in the program, we'll be chatting with Nikki Adams. She's resource coordinator with Clallam County Community Outreach and about a program to help those in need in our area through this holiday season, and some other things lined up too. That's all next hour on the TO Show here on KONP. Now, it's been almost 30 years since Tim Allen donned a Santa suit. Now he's back for season 2 of his hit series, The Santa Clauses. Allen and his daughter and co-star Elizabeth Allen Dick talked to ABC News about the new season. Here's Tim Allen on working with his daughter. Season 2 of The Santa Clauses, by the way, streaming on Disney+.
I was looking at my daughter, Santa's daughter, and then it was Tim's daughter, and it was amazing scenes. It would be one of those moments in my life that you'll always remember it.
It's hard to believe. 30 years since he first played Santa Claus, huh? Well, the odds were in the fair. The Hunger Games prequel over the long Thanksgiving weekend this past weekend. ABC's Dave Packer reports.
After folks finished their turkeys, they moved on to songbirds and snakes.
See how quickly civilization disappears?
The Hunger Games prequel at #1 for a second weekend, making another $42.5 million over the extended 5-day Thanksgiving period. The Joaquin Phoenix starring war epic Napoleon, the surprise #2, snaring around $32.5 million. At #3, a disappointing debut for Wish, the Disney Centennial animated feature, falling short of expectations, taking in just $31.7 million over the Thanksgiving weekend. Trolls Band Together and Thanksgiving rounding out the top 5. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Every user of ChatGPT or any of its AI cousins knows that AI sometimes just gets it wrong. It happens so often that the world's keeper of the English language, the Cambridge Dictionary, now has a word for it. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by ExpressVPN. Secure your online data and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. AI sometimes simply makes things up. When it does, it always takes on a very believable and authoritative voice. The Cambridge Dictionary has named these AI ravings hallucinations. Beside the medical definition, a new additional definition is, and I quote, when an artificial intelligence, a computer system that has some of the qualities that the human brain has, such as the ability to produce language in a way that seems human, hallucinates, it produces false information, unquote. When using AI, always be ready for a hallucination, the very thing that AI was never supposed to do. Enter to win a brand new iPhone 15, valued at $800, at commando.com/win. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus the leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing. Did you know every week nearly 50 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. linkedin.com/Kim.
For what it's worth, I'm Derek Dennis. A 3-year cruise suddenly canceled. Passenger Meredith Shea not happy.
Devastated, disappointed, sad.
The retired flight attendant paying $35,000 a month for one of the biggest cabins. The Life at Sea cruise was to embark from Istanbul this month, stopping in 135 countries. Prices starting at $87,000 a year. Carrie Whitman on board for it.
I owned a house. I had needed knee surgery, so I expedited all of those things. I sold my house, got rid of most of my things.
ABC News obtaining messages the parent company sent passengers citing unrest in the Middle East as one of the reasons it couldn't buy a boat, confirming the cruise was canceled. The cruise owner now saying the trip has been postponed till spring and telling ABC News it will reimburse passengers. Cruise writer Ashley Koshalek says there's a lesson here.
Anytime somebody tells you have to fully commit, sight unseen, it should give you pause.
For what it's worth, I'm Derek Dennis, ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. But right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Right arm, right leg.
Left leg, left arm.
Both legs above the knee.
Both legs, part of my left hand. Lost both my legs in Iraq.
These 9/11 veterans are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes with features like wheelchair access, roll-in showers, and pull-down cabinets that allow them to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans, thanks to our donors and supporters. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Online at myclallamcounty.com. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles, Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. Hamas has released more hostages who are now on their way to Israel. ABC's Inez de la Quatera in Tel Aviv.
According to an IDF spokesperson citing the Red Cross, 11 hostages are on their way to Israeli territory. We are here outside of a hospital where they are expected to be brought, and we understand that this group of Israeli hostages includes 9 children and 2 women. The kibbutz of Nir Oz confirming that they are all from the kibbutz of Nir Oz.
The White House says no Americans are among the hostages released today. No bail for a Vermont man accused of shooting 3 Palestinian college students.
The state's attorney says they're still weighing whether hate crimes charges are justified against 48-year-old Jason Eaton, who has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of attempted murder and remains behind bars with his bail denied. The victims were visiting family at the University of Vermont when police say Eaton walked up to them Saturday night, fired 4 times, and then ran off. All 3 victims were wearing Palestinian headscarves at a time when threats against Muslims and Jews are both on the rise with the increase in violence in the Middle East.
ABC's Sherry Preston. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter is lying in repose at the Carter Center until her funeral tomorrow. Former President Jimmy Carter is expected to attend. Congress has yet to pass aid packages for Israel or Ukraine.
It's still not clear how and to what extent Congress will offer additional aid to Israel and Ukraine. Republicans in the Senate say their support for the package will be conditioned on more funding for border security and possibly immigration policy changes, too. Senate Leader Chuck Schumer tells colleagues he'll move to advance the foreign aid bill next week, setting a deadline for bipartisan negotiations to conclude.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. The CDC says respiratory illnesses, including the flu, COVID, and RSV, are on the rise across the country. At the close, the Dow was down 47 points. You're listening to ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A 3-year cruise around the world that was suddenly canceled is back on come spring. ABC's Lara Spencer.
Devastated, disappointed.
Meredith Shea, a retired flight attendant preparing for the adventure. She was on a payment plan, $35,000 a month for one of the biggest rooms on the ship.
I packed up my belongings, put them in storage.
The Life at Sea cruise was supposed to set sail in early November, starting in Istanbul, the ship making stops in 135 countries throughout all 7 continents.
The company behind it blaming unrest in the Middle East and problems securing a large enough ship. Are you annoyed by the sound of people eating? Well, the maker of Doritos is trying to silence the volume.
Doritos Silent is what the company calls a crunch cancellation technology. The company that made it, Smooth Technology, says it trained an artificial intelligence program on the sound of people munching on Doritos so that it can recognize those sounds and remove them from a voice chat. Tom's Guide editor-in-chief Mike Prospero says it's similar to Google's Audio Magic Eraser feature, which debuted earlier this year.
Google's AI will be able to let you filter those noises out of the video itself.
Mike DeBusky, ABC News.
The government of New Zealand is snuffing out a nationwide smoking ban, which was to take effect next year. Opponents had argued that it would only lead to a black market for tobacco. This is ABC News.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap but easy to give. Give them a Stihl. With powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to place under the tree, the Stihl Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Save $20 on the BGA 57 battery-powered blower. Visit your local Stihl dealer or go to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. Now $179.99 was $199.99 MSRP. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Your finish comes first at First Race.
For some people, their car is their most prized possession. Show you care with a gift certificate for high-quality Union 76 gas and car washes from First Race Car Wash. Gift certificates start at $5. First Race Car Wash at First and Race.
You're a winner every time when you've got that First Race shine.
Ooh, your finish comes first at First Race.
Radio Pacific, the Royal BC Museum want to send you to Victoria. Text Victoria now on our new Macquarie Carpet One Studio mainline text line, 360-457-1450. You'll be entered to win an overnight trip to Victoria, including round trip aboard the Coho, one-night stay at the Doubletree Hotel and Suites, dinner at Bartholomew's Public House, Royal BC Museum passes, and IMAX Victoria passes. Text Victoria now to 360-457-1450 to enter to win this holiday trip to Victoria. KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, 457-6600. The board of the North Olympic History Center announcing it is moving ahead with demolishing the former Lincoln Elementary School building on 8th Street in Port Angeles. The board's president said this was a very difficult decision, comes after more than 3 years of researching alternative uses, gathering cost estimates for renovation, and conducting extensive community outreach to seek possible partners or purchasers of the old Lincoln School. Most recent estimate to restore Lincoln School would be about $12 million. The board said that made it commercially unattractive as a project for investors.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with highs around 47. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, lows level off around 37. Partly cloudy again tomorrow, highs level off around 45. A blend of clouds and sun Wednesday with highs in the mid-40s, chance for scattered rain showers Thursday. I'm weatherology meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 47 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
All right, lots of fun. I have my two favorite master gardeners joining me for the first part of the program today, Judy English and Jeanette Sturgreen's back. Jeanette, it's good to see you again. It's been so long. Thanks for coming in.
I'm delighted to be here.
You couldn't wait because we're calling this the Bill Roble Memorial Show. We lost Bill a bit ago, but we always had a lot of fun talking about poinsettias.
That's right.
Because there was a robust argument in the studio about do you keep them alive or do you just enjoy them and get rid of them? And boy, we
fell down on some very distinct sides of that conversation, Bill and I.
So we're going to revisit it, I guess, and just in his honor.
Or at least remember it.
Yeah,
I don't know. The only two people who could really do that discussion justice would be Bill and Jeanette.
Right. Yeah. So, and then I think last year Jeanette tried to argue it both ways.
I did.
It sort of worked.
Counterpoint.
It didn't quite have the same. But anyway, we're going to talk about poinsettias and some other things too when we come up. So it's good to have you guys, and happy holidays because we're in the middle of it all right now.
Thank you.
And it's hard to believe it's almost the end of the year, but here we go. So that said, I'm going to just tick down this list of things you've left me, and you've got the Master Gardener calendar is back.
As a matter of fact.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you, Todd Ortloff, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Oh, lovely. You noticed where I put the last year's. It stays in here in our little studio because that's where it belongs. Okay.
Such beautiful
Thank
pictures.
you so much. Yeah,
Yes.
I love this calendar, too, because the pictures are great.
beautiful.
So for those who know nothing about this, a number of years now, you all have done this as a fundraiser for the foundation.
It has been.
And so tell folks what they get, where they can get it, why they ought to get it.
You ought to get it. We'll start at the end of that list. You ought to get it because it's got great information, beautiful pictures. It represents the local master gardening community and gardeners in general, local, and where you can get it. Right now, you can get it at the Master Gardener Woodcock Demo Garden. That's the one in Sequim at 2711 Woodcock Road. Thursday mornings from 10 to noon. That's when they're open. And at Fiddleheads Home and Garden, which is on 1st Street here in PA, give them a call, check their hours before you dash on down there. That's 452-2114. And you can pick up your calendar there. They're $8 each unless you buy more than one, and then they're $7.50. And why do you buy more than one? Because they make outstanding stocking stuffers.
Especially if you have anybody that tries to grow anything, because not only are these, and these are all local pictures, by the way. These are from Master Gardeners,
From Master Gardeners.
and they're beautiful.
Yes.
They're just like
and they've got, the calendar has when to plant what?
Exactly.
Yeah, on the backside. And this is just a real great resource for vegetable gardeners, where we talk about different varieties of different vegetables, what's recommended for our area, and when you should plant it, whether you start it inside under lights or in the garden directly.
And all you have to do, I'm just looking at this on my chart, is I just by alphabetical order, right? Want to do broccoli.
Yes.
March through May starts.
That's
if
not
you
far
starts,
off.
right? Yeah, yeah. And then if you're going to go for seeds, May.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Into the ground.
And then early July for seeds. And these are different recommended varieties. That's right. I should tell you. So that there's different varieties of your broccoli and when you ought to do. Some are earlier varieties, some are later.
And you picked a really good one because, as we've shared on the show before, we do great vegetable gardening in the fall here. And so some of these things that you're going to be planting in spring, you're going to turn around and do that again in July and August.
Yep, because if I go to my next thing on broccoli, you have listed right here, early July, if I want to use seeds for a fall variety of broccoli, right? Yeah,
You
there
got
you go.
it.
Anyway, it's great. And then inside of here, you always list like when plant clinics are scheduled and all of those sorts of things.
Everything that's going on, so you
Yeah.
don't have to remember from month to month. It's right there.
All right.
It's a great resource. It's actually, that's what I use. I don't have to remember everything. I can just go to my calendar, see
Price
what I'm
is
supposed to
pretty
do
good.
next month.
Yeah, for the info that you get and the beautiful pictures anyway, $8 ain't bad.
Yep.
In fact,
It's a
great
real
deal,
fun thing for
screaming
us.
deal.
In addition to the places that Judy shared where you could buy it, you can go out to the WSU Extension office.
True, which is now located at, where is it? West 18th Street. See,
Yes.
it's still new to me.
It's the old juvenile hall.
Yes,
For
instead
those who
of-
are old timers here.
And some of the spirits still
Walk
linger
the hallways,
there.
as
Yes,
they say.
yes.
So it used to be at the old courthouse. Now it's at the old juvenile hall.
We can't ever get to a new thing, but that's
and
it.
it's
Yeah.
actually it's a beautiful facility. It really accommodates what the extension office is trying to do, expanding in so many directions. So it's a beautiful facility. Just go out there to see that.
If you're heading out 18th Street, just take a left right after you get past the volunteer field. That's where it's at.
Yep.
Before you get to the PUD, it's between the ball field and the PUD on 18th. How about that? Is that a good direction?
That's a good,
I think
good
that's
way to say
perfect.
it.
That's perfect.
On your way to the recycle place.
Yep. There you go.
And the other cool thing is you can also have them sent to you. And so if you go to the Master Gardener Foundation website, and they have a whole little side panel, like click here to purchase the calendar. You can just order it online, and the folks from the extension office will send it to you at no added cost. That's pretty good.
That's pretty cool too. So there you go. You got plenty of reasons to sell. Now here's a little secret. You guys sell these things don't wait too long because there's a limited number.
Yes. In fact, what happens frequently is someone will say, well, I'm going to go down there to wherever. They don't get down there right away. And by the time they get there, that lot has been sold out. So don't hesitate. Just get on down there and get it while you can.
All right.
That's my advice.
So my listeners are the smartest in the world. They'll go down and go pick these up right now. So there you go.
Buy their stocking stuffers now.
Absolutely. It's a great calendar, and it's just got tons of information in it, too, like I said. So, all right. Thank you again. That's so nice.
Our
you guys
pleasure.
always take good care of me. I'll have to have you back. See, this is how you learn. This is a little pay for play here.
Pay for play,
Yeah,
exactly.
Not really, but you can come anytime, calendar or not. But I appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into a little bit about gardening gifts, because that's we talked about poinsettias, but there's some other things too. So let's start with the P, though. Let's start with the big one.
However you pronounce it, poinsettia, whatever. I don't pronounce it correctly, but I'll just call it a poinsettia. It's exciting things are happening in this very old plant. I mean, a lot of us know that it came to the United States back in the 1800s because of Joel Robert Poinsett, who was ambassador to Mexico. But it has changed dramatically since then. That it was like a shrub, 10 feet tall, a few flowers. It didn't quite bloom during the Christmas season up in North America coming from Mexico, and it has just gone from a rags to riches transformation. And I have been so excited every holiday season to see what shows up in nurseries.
The huge amount of variety now. It's not just the red plant with green leaves.
Which is very nice, by the way.
Absolutely. But now they come in.
Oh, like pink.
Variegated.
Variegated. Oh my gosh. In our local grocery stores, last year they had some variegated ones that were just to die for. I actually had to break down and get more than a red one this year, that year. But yeah, so there's a lot happening. One of the things that I think is really interesting, and it's just a curiosity I'd like to talk about, is you're now seeing some blue and purple ones showing up.
Yeah, interesting.
What about that?
Yeah. Is it because they're easy to what drives this crazy
so that's a good
poinsettia
question.
craziness,
yes.
right?
I think it must have be easily mutated.
Yeah.
And so just doing breeding and crossbreeding with other varieties, but also exposing the poinsettia to environmental factors, chemicals, gamma rays, X-rays, causes them to develop these, what we call sports. And Judy knows about that. It's where, like, you have this plant and then this oddball stem comes out of nowhere that doesn't look at all like the parent plant. But you kind of like going, I kind of like that. That's weird, but I really like it. And so they will take it and cut it off and then propagate it vegetatively. And then they'll do that multiple times, enough to now produce and send it all over the United States.
Well, and as you pointed out, I mean, the modern poinsettia as we know it is really a mutation, because to get it to do what it's doing now.
You know how we look at various celebrities and go, they've had some work done.
This is the plant that's had a lot of work done.
It has had a lot of work done. It's terribly exciting, but it's really fun. So these blue and purple ones, though, I'm sorry I have to let you in on a sad little note there, is that they're not naturally blue or purple as
they've been
in
like
painted, hand
really?
painted. Yeah. No. It's again a really interesting thing. The color of poinsettias come from anthocyanins. We've talked about that before. The fall leaves, the red, the reddish hues. And there are some that have purple and not poinsettias, but some plants that have purple and blue flowers. Poinsettia is never going to have it. It doesn't exist in its genome. So there's unless you do genetic engineering, then you're not going to have a purple or a blue, no matter
so
how
when someone's
many
showing
gamma
up to your place
rays
with a
and
blue
stuff.
one of these things, you're going
Well, take it for what it is. I mean, it's beautiful. I just last year I saw it was a purple with glitter on it. Oh my gosh! Yeah. It was pretty nice. I didn't buy it. It was a little too gaudy for my taste.
But you thought,
this
impressive.
This has a home in some place here. It really does.
It has a portion of the market out there.
So.
There are people who will be absolutely fascinated with that. I thought you were going to say that they somehow inject the stem with a dye.
That's where I thought she was going too. That we were
because they
try
do
to...
that with carnations and to get the different colors.
Put it in a colored water and it soaks up. Yeah, they haven't figured out how to do that. To the
stand by.
But stand by. Yeah. But yeah, it's probably hand painted, a non-toxic paint, and they are pretty, but they're just not natural. If that's something that's important to you.
Okay, so then the big question: do you keep them or toss them? Year to year,
is the big question.
Yeah, and this is the big debate we used to always have with Bill. What do you think? Well, it's your choice, right? We should probably tell folks they do have a choice.
Yeah,
they do have a choice.
Yeah, so we should. I mean, the poinsettia is not a bad house plant if you give it plenty of sun and you pinch it back to keep it nice and compact. But getting that sucker to bloom again when you want it to bloom again is quite a challenge.
Yeah,
have you tried it?
Only once. Only once was
enough.
Plenty for me. Yeah. And what my feeling was is I need a more rigid schedule to get a poinsettia to bloom again, because it requires 14 hours of continuous darkness for 30 days, or it's very
more like
formula,
60 days.
Oh, see, no wonder I probably only did.
And if you get off by an hour or two throughout that process, it's all screwed up, right?
If you walk into the room and turn on the light one of those long nights, it will reset.
Yeah.
So, which really says you do have to have a closet that you don't use. It's your poinsettia closet, and only open that door. And I'd have to have a schedule on the door, as far as when I could open
electronic lock of some sort that only goes off on the day you can use it.
So it is a bit involved, but for those people who like to try something different and maybe take on the challenge, and that was how I felt about it a long number of years ago. And it was interesting.
It's tougher, and we're really a bit north. Makes it harder.
I think the big thing is controlling your light, which you could do, manually, if you will, and the temperature. We can control the temperature too, because you don't want it to get any colder then. But you also do have to be careful about drafts in your house when you have it out of the closet. And
you do, when you bring it out, I mean, you can't just leave it in dark continuously.
Right.
Which would achieve, that's not going to
Well,
work
I'm
either.
just wondering,
Right.
level
They
of
have to-
light, where it gets light from, all of that can play into
it
this,
has
can
to
it?
get bright light on
Right.
those non-night,
On the non-dark days,
hours
right.
to actually form
Makes
color. And so it is a bit challenging,
Yeah.
but we're a little bit one-sided. It's fun to do, to try to get it to rebloom. But we do have other master gardeners, Jan Danford being one of them.
And they
had
got
this,
it down?
Yes, and they've got it down. They go like, you've got a watch that you can set the alarm. What's your problem?
Everyone I know that has tried it once, usually, and that's it. But here's what's happened: it blew. It was the wrong time. It didn't. It came back, but the timing was way off.
It
so
still
they
can be.
They sorta got it,
Yeah,
but it wasn't to their satisfaction. So there you go.
It can be a point of pride.
Yeah.
And
Can
again,
be.
if you've never done it, do try it because it can be really fun.
Yep.
And you get a better sense of like the color of the leaves that were green. Now they're shifting to a color and all this. It's very, very fun. But
you could, and if you're going to try it, you could try it with like 3 or 4 other people and sort of have a little contest.
Ooh,
that would be
I'm liking
interesting.
this.
Yeah.
Next year, guys.
Okay. Let's move to amaryllis now.
Yeah,
Let's
moving
talk about
right
those
along.
because the kits are out. These are a tremendous Christmas
Actually,
item.
I think amaryllis are beautiful plants, and you can buy it as a kit. So all you have to do is buy the kit, put it in the pot, and
It's my favorite. I mean, you really don't, if you buy one of those kits, it's set up and ready to go for you pretty much after you've planted it.
And didn't you tell us last year or the year before that they now come encased in wax, the bulb?
Yeah, so this
Right.
is kind of a big thing, and I'm seeing them in more people's homes. And so it just is that big old bulb that has a red wax. I've seen gold wax over the top of them. And you have to do nothing to those because there's nothing, I mean, you can't get
water into it. Yeah, right. It just goes.
And it just lives off of what is in that bulb. And they can be beautiful. The neat thing is they tend to be different varieties, and so they're shorter stature. So they don't,
Yeah.
we
Topple
always
over,
have that
right.
problem about the big old amaryllis on the end of the stalk is your whole thing goes over. So they're shorter. They can bloom multiple times. I have had friends, it's very hard on the bulb. So usually this is one of those ones where if it's encased in wax, you just toss it. I've had, though, friends who have kept it in the wax and gotten subsequent blooms out of them. So these little
Interesting.
guys really try hard. And then if, again, you like to do fun, adventurous stuff, is taking it out of the wax and seeing if you can get it to start growing again. When they put it in the wax, they cut off the bottom through the roots. It's kind of hard on the bulb, but some of those bulbs just come on back. And then you have a really nice houseplant.
All right. Amaryllis, they're very nice
I
and
think it's
easy.
probably my
as long as
favorite.
relatively easy care, too.
Yeah,
moving ahead.
bright light. That's my bottom line with amaryllis is
Get 'em in a bright
good,
good
bright
window,
light
right?
after the bloom. Put it back there because it's how much it's not really its blooming is not predicated on light conditions or temperature. It's really how well that bulb has done during the other
When it's
parts of the years.
resting, right,
When
more
it's
or less.
just growing.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
If it gets a lot of leaves.
Yeah, storing up its energy.
Yes.
So that it can provide energy to itself, essentially, and grow and bloom and be beautiful.
All right.
Very interesting.
Similarly, Christmas cactus.
Christmas
Often given in a kit or a box or something. In the,
Very common at
Yeah.
nurseries, grocery stores right now. They are quite beautiful.
They are beautiful. And Christmas cactus, I think, is kind of a misnomer because Christmas cactus kind of bloom when they're ready to bloom. You know, it's not like they're watching the calendar.
I have a Halloween cactus.
You have a Halloween
I think
cactus,
it's
yes.
costume. It's going as a Christmas cactus at
Well,
Halloween.
and we've talked about this in the past. I mean, you can have a Christmas cactus and all of a sudden it'll come at Easter.
Yes, and you know what's going on there? There are actually different species. And they're, the common name is Thanksgiving cactus, Easter cactus, Christmas cactus. Well, for Christmas, the producers, the commercial producers, have greenhouses. They grow them under the conditions so that all of them are blooming at Christmas. So yay, I got it at Christmas. It's blooming. And then you come around the next year.
Back on its real cycle, right?
It's back on its real cycle. And then you have a Thanksgiving cactus or a Halloween cactus.
But you know what? Some people, that's like a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
yeah.
wow, I thought I was going to have to wait till Christmas till I get... Look at that.
This.
I now have an Easter
Mine's
cactus.
blooming already. It's so happy.
Yeah.
No, I'm such a good gardener. Look, it's
Yeah,
already
there you
blooming.
go. That's it. I've taken tremendous care of my cactus, therefore
have.
it has
Yes.
rewarded me.
It's rewarded you.
Right.
That's
All
right.
right.
I think the big thing about Christmas cactuses is they're probably the most long-lived of any house plant. And so you have all these wonderful stories.
Well, how many people it's like an estate sale and it's a Christmas, oh, we got that for Grandma 50 years ago.
Yep. And it's true. And they do hang around that long.
They do. That's absolutely right. I have one that is propagated from a friend of ours who it was 90 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easy to care for too, pretty much. I mean, that's probably why they're around for so long.
I agree.
I agree,
Easy
yes.
to care for. And they're really, and to me, this is the one that, hey, you want to like give presents to other people? Christmas cactus, because you could just break off those little segments, stick them in the soil. They'll root in about a month or so, and before you know it, you'll have a good-sized plant.
All right, tick off the tips now just for taking care of plants in general here this time of year.
Yeah, so I like, and time in here. First thing is what you buy is what you get. Like
Except
if you
for
go
that blue plant.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't quite like. It's gonna not get any prettier probably during the holiday season.
Right.
So like if you're buying a poinsettia and it like is losing leaves and stuff and you go, oh, I'll take it home and take good care of it and it'll look better. No, it's gonna like just probably go downhill from them. So select wisely. Get plants that have, blossoms that are just opening up. With the poinsettias, the center of those red bracts is actually the true flower, and you want to look for one that doesn't have pollen on it yet. It's newer. That blossom is newer. So take care in selection.
And be careful when you're transporting it home. Don't carry it in the back of your pickup truck if it's a tropical plant, which all of these actually are.
Yes.
Because it's going to be very unhappy.
But, that's an easy mistake you could make this time of year. Just put it in the back of the truck because we're heading over to Grandma's.
Those big ones,
right?
Where you have room. You got to put it in the back of the
put
truck.
it somewhere. So be careful
And
how
it
you
doesn't
transport
take much
it
to
so
get
it-
them into
yes.
into shock, especially when it's really relatively cold out.
Yeah.
Compared to where they're used to.
Yeah, and so then that kind of then falls over to when you get it into your house or whoever you're taking it to is setting it in a nice place that it won't be exposed to the extremes in temperature. Not next to the fireplace, not close to a drafty door that's opening and closing.
Or your furnace registers, not right next to those, where it's going to help dry it out. But do water it sparingly so it's not sitting in water.
Yeah, all of these are very susceptible to root rot, and so water sparingly. Wait for the top of the soil to dry out an inch or so down, and then let the water run through, but don't let it sit in water.
Right, so once that water has run through, empty it.
Empty out that.
There you go.
That which is collected in the saucer, because then if you don't do that, it's going to have soggy feet.
Soggy feet. I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens.
You know how we all feel about soggy feet.
Yeah. Change your socks. Right. Okay, before we run out of time, you do have a few things happening with Master Gardener, so let's check through some of these things so people can go out and get educated a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. Not too many. The big one is December 14th, growing sweet potatoes. And Laurel Moulton. Yeah, who'd have thought? Laurel Moulton, who's the...
But they're a little different than just your ordinary potato that most people are used to, right? Yeah.
And very popular as far as, great food.
And growing in popularity because it's kind of good for you. But they do take kind of a different approach. It is a more, it needs more heat than normal white potatoes do. And so Laurel has been doing a big trial with our parent WSU and others, where she's going to kind of report back what are the tricks of the trade and how did it do here in their trials,
and which varieties are best for our area. So that will be a biggie.
All right, that's the
that will be
14th.
December 14th.
Right?
At the library, noontime.
Yes.
All right.
Take your lunch, go to the PA library, and learn how to grow sweet potatoes.
And we still do our plant clinics. They're closed. The in-person ones are closed for the season, but you can give us a call at area code 360-417-2514, or go online and email your questions to us. And we have teams that are ready to respond. And it could be problems you had back in the summer or future plans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this would be a good time, actually, to resolve some of those issues that you had and you didn't take time to address, or you have a plan that you want to execute this coming growing season and would like a little advice. And remember, you can attach a photo if you.
And that's helpful, actually, if you
very
can.
helpful,
right? Yeah.
Very much so.
All right. One last thing, though, your podcast. Tell us about the podcast. You talked about this.
Just shortly, yes. So you can go online and type in the Evergreen Thumb. And these podcasts are being done, I think a new one is released every 2 weeks. They're done by master gardeners and other people who have applied to participate as a presenter. And so it's a huge variety of topics, all information that has been vetted, if you will, so it's legit information. And you can just go online and watch them. So you can be accumulating all this additional information. I think it's a very exciting approach. And every 2 weeks you have a new topic. So the Evergreen Thumb, check it out online. And
sounds great.
Go.
All right. So good to see you both. Thanks for coming
Very
in.
fun.
Yeah.
We always have a
Judy
good time.
English, Jeanette Steer-Green. Have a very Merry Christmas, and hopefully we'll chat again maybe before the year's out. But if we don't, Happy New Year as well.
Same to you.
All right. And
Thanks, Todd.
we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more on our program in just a moment.
Hi, everyone. It's Leslie Robertson for the Port Angeles Chamber of Commerce, and the Community Awards nominations for 2023 are now open. So if you know a person, a business, or an organization that has gone above and beyond over the past year, please visit portangeles.org and make a nomination. And don't forget to mark your calendars for February 3rd for the Community Awards Gala, which will be at Field Arts and Events Hall this year, where all finalists will be honored and the winners will be announced. Nominations will be open until December 11th. Don't forget the Winter Ice Village is open from November 17th until January 2nd. We have new hours of noon until 9 p.m., but we're still open daily. And don't forget to sign your waiver before you come down. The rink runs on volunteer power, and we're always in need of volunteers. It's a lot of fun, and for every shift that you help, you get a free skate pass. You can get information on all of this on our website, wintericevillage.com.
This is Jonathan Pasternak, Artistic Director of the Port Angeles Symphony. Join me and 65 of our community's finest musicians for the Symphony's annual holiday concert, Saturday, December 9th at the Port Angeles Performing Arts Center. Come experience the thrill of live orchestral music while enjoying festive and seasonal selections, plus the return of our Christmas Carol sing-along. Our special guest artist will be guitar virtuoso Colin Davin, performing Joaquin Rodrigo's Fantasia para un Gentilhombre. Our holiday concert on Saturday, December 9th is the Port Angeles Symphony's most popular concert of the year, so don't miss out. Get your tickets today, online at portangelessymphony.org, by phone at 457-5579, or in person at Port Book and News in downtown Port Angeles. See you at the Symphony.
The good thing about these cooler seasons, you spend more time inside and you get new perspective on your surroundings. The kind of perspective that sets out those voices in your head. The ones that say, hey, look at me. I'm getting old. I'm worn out. I'm dull. I'm dirty. Replace me. That is your old flooring talking. Let TJ's Flooring in Port Angeles quiet those voices with a fall floor makeover. You'll see sales on all hardwood, laminate, and carpet stocked in our warehouse. And of course, if you don't see something you fall in love with in store, TJ's can special order something perfectly tailored to you. TJ's will bring new life to your home and you can rest easy, knowing they have the pro installers to get the job done right the first time. After all, you can spend your hard-earned dollar on some beautiful new flooring, but if the installation isn't up to par, you're throwing money out the window. TJ's will make sure that doesn't happen. Stop by the warehouse today and browse the fall flooring sale. TJ's Flooring, Highway 101 East and Monroe Road. 360-670-5188.
At Foghorn Olive Oil, we've got a lot more to offer. In addition to our olive oils and balsamic vinegars, we've added a fantastic selection of Washington State wines and beers, as well as fabulous salads, delicious paninis, and delectable dips. Join us where great flavors and good times come together. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 12 to 4, and Thursdays through Saturdays, 12 to 7. Foghorn Olive Oil and Wine Bar, where great flavors and good times come together.
Welcome back to the show. Going to spend the next segment talking about the Clallam County Community Outreach Christmas Assistance Program. That's a mouthful, but we'll get to an explanation from the person who is the resource coordinator for this. That is Nikki Adams. She joins us in the studio. Nikki, good to have you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
So let's first of all just talk about Clallam County Community Outreach. This is the group behind all of this. So tell us about what you all do.
So we kind of do a little bit of everything. We've been operating in the community for about 9 years, 7 years, including this year. It has been my program. I've taken control of it. This year we made it an official nonprofit and working towards the 501c3. We've applied for it. We're just waiting for the paperwork back to say you are this. But we do help. We help with Christmas. We help with Easter baskets. We help with clothing. We help with food, hygiene. We're trying to bridge some gaps. We recently just started offering supervised visits with parents that can't afford it, so that if they need help with that, they can see their kids. We just trying to fill a gap where there's a gap needed.
How did this get started? What made you get this organized?
Well, I didn't start it. The founder started it and handed it to me, like I said, 7 years ago this year. She is no longer in the county, no longer in the community, but we definitely want to acknowledge her as the founder. Her name is Amber. Unfortunately, she fell back into active addiction, and so it wasn't a fit for her to be in, so that Advantage wasn't being taken over program. And so for a couple of years, she did step back in and help out, but she's no longer here. So we've just kind of made my little baby into a project, and it's now a full-blown business.
Okay, so tell us about, you mentioned, you do a lot of things through the year. Specifically, we're here talking about the Christmas Assistance Program, which the applications for just closed. So
closed last night at midnight.
But just the same, tell us about kind of what that is. It sounds like that's one of your bigger efforts probably every year.
Yes, it is our biggest effort. In fact, after closing the applications last night, we have 486 kids that we are helping out with Christmas.
And these are all Clallam County kids,
Every child is in Clallam County. And 137 of them are teenagers, which is what more so I try to focus on. We partner with Toys for Tots, amazing program. Sometimes they don't get the help they need with teen gifts, which is where we came up with several years ago the teen wish list, because it was a year that they didn't get much donated. And so we created it on a whim. The community was ecstatic about it, asked me to keep doing it. And so we have, and we went from initially, I think, like 40-ish teenagers to, like I said, this year we have 137.
Income guidelines. How do you decide who's into this?
I don't look at income, because parents or grandparents, because we do give grandparents Christmas gifts as well. Just because you can pay your bills doesn't mean you can provide Christmas. And so we just want to help kind of, again, bridge that gap, because kids don't necessarily understand that Christmas isn't about presents anymore. The media has done really well at showing them that it's about gifts and toys and things like that. And so we just, I look at their situations. Some families need a little bit more help than others. So, we try to get them sponsored through the community, where just a family in the community will say, hey, do you have a family this size that will fit my budget and that is really in need this year? And so we'll do that. But other times it's just a matter of they'll sign up. If they have teens, we put their teens on our wish list, and then their 12 and under kids go just for our basic Toys for Tots.
So let's do the flip side of this. Those
Yep.
out there in the community that hear this and say, hey, I'd like to help out. How do they do that?
We have an account established at Straight View Credit Union. It is under Clallam County Community Outreach. They're more than welcome to go and donate there. Some people like having the actual bank there because then they realize that, hey, these people are legit. We also, for those that can't get out of the house, which we've had a few this year, they say, hey, how can I do this? We can get stuff from Amazon. I also have a account with Square so that people can go ahead and donate financially online and still be able to feel like that they helped contributed.
All right. How do you get these kids lined up with the gifts? I mean, tell us through the process here. That's a lot of, you just mentioned huge numbers, actually.
Yes. So I do an email process so that most people have an email address. So they just send me through the email process, they send me their name, or we do the parent's name, their address and phone number, the kids' names, ages, genders, sizes, and interest. And then I just write it down on a paper that I have printed out for our outreach. And then I keep it in a book. And then as this book gets more applications, like by last night, I think we have 130, about 130 families, I think. I can't remember the exact number. And so each family, I give what I call a Christmas number. And I learned that kind of procedure through Salvation Army when I was doing some volunteer work for them years and years ago. And so that way I can kind of keep every family straight with what family gets what and what not. But for their interests, when we look at their application and I'm looking at my room full of toys, I say, okay, this family has this child who likes Paw Patrol. So I will look for that age and gender group and I will find something Paw Patrol and we'll put it in their Christmas bag for them. When their bag is ready to go, I call them and say, we have your Christmas bag. When would you like to come and pick it up?
Do you end up having to shop? How do you get all of these toys? Because you get money donations?
Toys for Tots generally does the biggest part of it. The community has been phenomenal with helping with our teens wish list. Yeah. And so on our Facebook page, Clallam County Community Outreach, we actually have a whole list of things that these teenagers have wished for. We try to put 3 items on for each kid with the hopes of getting 1 or 2 so that, they have something to be a little bit more cheerful when they wake up on Christmas morning. And, if mom and dad couldn't afford something, they can be like, wow, thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad, just to help bring some extra cheer for them.
Okay. Yeah. When you give me these numbers, I'm going, boy, that's just a lot to process through in a relatively short period of time. So your Facebook page is probably a good resource, it sounds like.
Yes,
so folks
absolutely.
go on to Facebook page. What was you?
Clallam County Community Outreach.
So all one word there on Facebook.
Word.
All right. And check it out. Now, I've got to talk about the rest of the time, too, because you mentioned it's not just the holidays, it's not just special times. You're also, it sounds like throughout the year trying to, if there's families that are in need just for daily, just daily life stuff too. Yep. Is that part of this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Our Facebook page, like I said, initially started just as an outreach, a small community thing where if people needed something, furniture, toilet paper, shampoo, conditioner, they would just post on our page, hey, I'm in need of this right now. And somebody within our community, I think right now we're at 950-ish members of our Facebook page. And so somebody in there is generally, very generous enough to either help. If I have the stuff in my outreach room, because I do have a hygiene closet that we try to keep stocked, and Grocery Outlet has been very, very giving when it comes to our hygiene closet. And so if we have the items that we need in there that the family needs, then I bag it up and I say, do you need me to bring it to you? Or are you capable of, coming and picking it up? And either way, we make sure that they have it. That can be clothes, that can be food, that can be, like I said, the hygiene. We just, if it's needed, we try. There's things that sometimes that I don't have, but I will find a resource in order to try and make that happen.
I think, too, with inflation the way it's been, the cost of everything's so doggone high in the last couple of years. Have you seen that affecting you, not only, I guess, in your purchase power, but people needing perhaps some help?
Yes, absolutely. There's definitely a lot. We cater to a lot of different communities, if you will, in our community. Like we have our homeless community. We have, just our low-income families. We have families, that are pretty well off, but are in a rut right now and just can't afford things. So, they'll reach out. We have different church communities that, that I've heard from say, hey, we've got a couple of families. Do you think you can help them out with this? And we do our best to try and make that happen, whatever the need is. And like I said, if I don't have the said product or the said resource, I will do my best to try and find a resource for the family to make that happen.
As you mentioned, there's a tremendous needs out there. It's, I think once you kind of dive into this, you realize just how many families are just scraping by, and holidays get to be really tough sometimes.
There's a lot of families out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of families that need help.
Nikki, thanks for coming in. And again, I'll direct people over to look them up, Clallam County Community Outreach on Facebook. And can we give you your phone number as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, if somebody might want to give you a call, I'm thinking maybe a business you'd like to give a sponsorship to, give Nikki a call, 360-670-3465. 670-3465, and you can get more information there, and maybe you can help out and make it a little bit brighter holiday
Please
for
give
folks.
us a call. We want to help. We really do.
All right, Nikki, thanks so much. We'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Thank you.
All
Absolutely.
Right, appreciate it. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more on the program in just a moment.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
Red Carpet Car Wash in Carlsberg is always adding to the list of things they provide to keep your vehicle looking brand new. The full detail shop is just one more service to check off that list. Not only will your interior and exterior shine, your engine will sparkle too. Red Carpet is also getting some winter upgrades, including new equipment in the manual bay and new vacuums. Call Kyle today and let him get you scheduled for your red carpet treatment Tuesday through Saturday. 360-461-0826.
At Olympic Peninsula Title, old-fashioned customer service never goes out of style. We've been closing real estate transactions in Clallam County for 40 years and have earned the repeat business of our customers. We treat people with respect, do what we say, put the security of our customers' funds and information as priority number one, and always provide service with a smile. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title. See why we've been voted best title company in Clallam County over and over again.
I was proud to be a soldier.
I told the truth and got kicked out.
And so I thought to myself, I'm taking this rule down.
If you're an LGBTQ+ veteran, your memories are important too. Share your story with the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, where first-hand accounts from U.S. military veterans are preserved and made accessible for researchers and future generations. Visit loc.gov/vets to submit your stories, photographs, and documents today.
This is Alan Barnard, and this Volunteer Spotlight, which usually shines on a particular volunteer individual or group, is our opportunity to shine our spotlight on all of you individuals and groups who generously give of yourselves for the benefit of others. The volunteer spirit is alive and well in our area and makes such a huge difference in our quality of life. We are all better for your willingness to reach out and help others in so many ways. So for this holiday season, our hat is off to all of you volunteers who help others, and we salute you and wish you all a wonderful holiday season and health and prosperity in the coming year. We also encourage you to consider becoming a volunteer this coming year for any volunteer group that may interest you. New volunteers are always needed. It's said that service is the rent we pay for our space on Earth, and that's why we present this Volunteer Spotlight, sponsored by Jim Hagwood of PA Realty, serving all of Clallam County.
I don't know about you, but when someone says something about the 1980s, I still think that was only 20 years ago, not 4 decades ago. My point is this: if you're one of those people that says, we just updated our blinds a couple years ago, it might actually be longer than you think. Update and save money now with 25% off your order at the Blind Store by McCrory. Plus, get free installation. The most styles from the most popular brands, installed by the most trusted professionals at the Blind Store by McCrory in Squim.
The 2024 KONP Home Show is back. We are now accepting vendor applications for the largest two-day marketing event on the peninsula. Put your business in the middle of thousands of potential clients. Booths start at just $450. The KONP Home Show will be Saturday and Sunday, March 9th and 10th, 2024. Sign up now for best locations and to lock in the lower rates. Call 360-457-1450 and get your space for the 39th annual KONP Home Show.
And thanks for joining us on the TO Show this Monday afternoon. In many ways, Black Friday and Cyber Monday has turned into what is Cyber Weekend. Was it for you? How healthy was this past weekend for retailers, whether in person or online? Nationwide, at least. ABC's Alexis Christoforous explains why retailers expect strong Cyber Monday sales today.
I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving weekend. I had a great Thanksgiving dinner myself. Turkey was great. Then, on Friday, I was going to go to a local shopping center to pick up some Christmas gifts. However, in the latest sign I am getting older, I tweaked my back when I bent weird, so I had to stay home. Embarrassing. The point is, though, the reason I'm telling you this is that while I was sitting at home, I did a lot of my shopping anyway. Because, while that was technically Black Friday and today is technically Cyber Monday, in many respects, this has just become Cyber Weekend. So, how healthy was this weekend for retailers, whether in person or online? Let's get ABC's business correspondent Alexis Christoforous in here. Alexis, what have we been seeing in the last few days as far as sales?
Well, Brett, I'm sorry to hear that your back went out, but you know what? You didn't miss a beat, right? Because, I mean, there were so many sales to be had online, and we saw a number of shoppers take that route, because if you look at just Black Friday sales, $9.8 billion online alone, and more than half of that, more than $5 billion of that, was done on our mobile devices.
For the things that I wanted to get, I knew which items I wanted, so I've been monitoring Best Buy, Walmart, Target, basically all the major brand stores to compare prices with Amazon.
So people are shopping on the go, they're comparison shopping online, doing it with the mobile phone.
I was looking around and I honestly saw that Best Buy had the best prices for Black Friday, and I can get all the things that I wanted in one place.
So for we'll call it the Cyber Weekend or the Black Friday weekend, however you want to phrase it, we're expecting sales to be $37-ish billion online. That's during that 5-day Thanksgiving weekend that goes through Cyber Monday. If that number turns out to be true, it would be up about 5.5% from the same time last year. So people are out there in full force hunting for deals, and when they find them, they are buying.
What's so interesting, Alexis, is because when you look at polls across the country, Americans are consistently saying that they're worried about this economy, that they are sour on sort of their finances going forward. But clearly, we're still spending money, a lot of money as a country.
Absolutely. And, you know, we're seeing a very strategic consumer sort of emerge over the past year. They're really trying to take advantage of these big sale days like Black Friday, like Cyber Monday, so they can maximize on these discounts.
With this economy, it's really hard. Yeah. So we had to save some gift cards, and
we've been saving up like months ahead.
Yeah.
Try to
make it work.
Keep it normal.
We're seeing these cost-conscious consumers be strategic in the way they're paying for things.
If you can cut the cost at all, even a little bit, then you can buy something else for somebody else with the additional money that you would normally spent on yourself or whatever.
We see that payment options like buy now, pay later with companies like Klarna and Affirm up more than 70% in just the past week alone compared to the same time last year. I think that tells you a lot about how folks are budgeting and stretching the dollar throughout this holiday shopping season.
I have champagne and a new pair of shoes in my hand. So in town for Thanksgiving. I'm so glad I came in town to spend some time with the family. Decided to stop by the mall, and I just wasn't expecting all of this. This is amazing.
Black Friday spending spike, that jump we saw, especially in online sales, I think really reflects a consumer who's more willing to spend than they were this time last year when gas and food prices were painfully high. I mean, gas prices have come down a lot. Food prices, while still higher than in recent years, have stabilized. So inflation is not as painful in many areas of the economy as it was just a year ago. And I think a lot of folks are taking advantage of that. Still out there looking for the bargains, though. I mean, I think it's a further indication that price-conscious consumers want to spend on the best deals, and they're hunting for those deals online.
Yeah, and stretching sort of when they're planning to pay off these bills. Hey, you mentioned kind of Cyber Monday and Cyber Weekend, Black Friday weekend. As far as brick and mortar stores versus online sales, I mean, how is that evolved? I guess I'm wondering at this point, like, do companies even want us to visit their stores, or is the internet infrastructure so evolved that they would rather we just all buy online anyway? Because it wasn't as if they were just like, hey, also go online for our Monday sale. Like, it's all begun.
Right. Well, store traffic was certainly healthy over this past weekend, but undoubtedly the way people are choosing to shop is more and more online and more on that mobile device. In fact, this might be the first year ever that mobile shopping outpaces shopping on a laptop or a desktop computer. So it goes to show you how we're out there. Many times we're even in the store, yet we're using our mobile device to make the purchase because maybe we found a better deal online than the store we're actually standing in.
I have been Black Friday shopping before. It was pre-COVID though, and I was actually shocked for being Black Friday that there were so few people here today.
And I think stores understand this. Many of the deals are not exclusive to in-store, but you will see a lot of exclusive online deals only. So it seems as though the retailers are even pushing us towards going online. You know, one point I want to make, though, about that buy now, pay later, just to go back to that point we made earlier, is that when folks do this, you just want to make sure that when you do it, you are ready for that bill to come later, because you are going to have to pay up. And if you don't, the interest on those kinds of payments can really add up, and you could wind up paying off an item a lot longer, in July when you really bought it for Christmas time.
Well, and 70% higher than earlier this year. I mean, those are astounding numbers. All right. So be nice. Don't be naughty if you're looking for gifts from Alexis Christoforous. She's on the prowl for some deals. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brad.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on Newsradio KONP.
Radio Pacific, the Royal BC Museum want to send you to Victoria. Text Victoria now on our new Macquarie Carpet One Studio mainline text line, 360-457-1450. You'll be entered to win an overnight trip to Victoria, including round trip aboard the Coho, one-night stay at the Doubletree Hotel and Suites, dinner at Bartholomew's Public House, Royal BC Museum passes, and IMAX Victoria passes. Text Victoria now to 360-457-1450 to enter to win this holiday trip to Victoria.
It's the sale we wait for all year. The Swain's After Thanksgiving sale brings us one really huge discount that everyone lines up for. The 20% off gift card sale lasts only 3 days. So get yours this year on November 24th, 25th, or 26th. The entire 5 days of this sale has so many other great bargains on big brands like Columbia, Keen, Carhartt, and Danner. This sale lasts through the 28th, so make sure you take a walk down every aisle, or you're sure to miss something great at Swain's After Thanksgiving sale.
The Clallam Co-op in Sequim and KONP Radio want to give you a chance to see Blake Shelton live on his Back to the Honky Tonk tour. Blake will be at the Tacoma Dome Friday, March 15th, and Clallam Co-op is the only place you can enter to win 2 tickets to see him. 2 lucky winners will each win 2 tickets to see Blake Shelton live. But remember, the Clallam Co-op in Sequim is the only place you can enter. Enter every day. Drawing will be held Friday, December 1st. So enter today. The Back to the Honky Tonk tour is presented by Kubota.
This is Jonathan Pasternak, Artistic Director of the Port Angeles Symphony. Join me and 65 of our community's finest musicians for the Symphony's annual holiday concert, Saturday, December 9th at the Port Angeles Performing Arts Center. Come experience the thrill of live orchestral music while enjoying festive and seasonal selections, plus the return of our Christmas Carol sing-along. Our special guest artist will be guitar virtuoso Colin Davin, performing Joaquin Rodrigo's Fantasia para un Gentilhombre. Our holiday concert on Saturday, December 9th is the Port Angeles Symphony's most popular concert of the year, so don't miss out. Get your tickets today, online at portangelessymphony.org, by phone at 457-5579, or in person at Port Book and News in downtown Port Angeles. See you at the Symphony.
The Port Angeles Fine Arts Center invites you to the Wintertide Festival of Lights. Join us in bringing light to Webster's Woods during the Community Lantern Walk. Enjoy a fire performance and new interactive art stations, food and drinks, holiday shopping at the Makers Market, and light art installations throughout the park. Join us on Saturday, December 9th from 4:30 to 8 p.m. at the Port Angeles Fine Arts Center. Get your tickets today at pafac.org.
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
News, sports, and information for the North Olympic Peninsula. We're News Radio KONP, Port Angeles, SQUIM, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. Another 11 hostages held by Hamas in Gaza have been released and are now in Israeli territory. This after the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas was extended for 2 more days. ABC's Inez de la Quatara is in Tel Aviv.
There was lots of back and forth today over the course of the day regarding the list and just who would be released. And we understand that the big issue there was that Hamas was considering releasing children without their mom, and that is something the Israelis have been firmly opposed to.
No Americans among those released today. In exchange, Israel released 33 Palestinian prisoners. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter, the wife of former President Jimmy Carter, lying in repose at the Carter Presidential Library. President Biden and the First Lady expected to attend tomorrow's service in Atlanta. ABC's Mary Bruce has more.
They will be joining so many others whose lives were deeply touched by Rosalind Carter. You know, Jill Biden, Joe Biden have been friends with the Carters for years, for decades. And this is a very genuine, true friendship. I don't think you can overstate that.
The former First Lady died last week at 96. Former President Jimmy Carter, who's in home hospice care, is expected to attend tomorrow's service. House lawmakers could vote this week on a resolution to expel New York Republican George Santos. An ethics committee report alleges he used campaign funds on personal expenses.
The ethics committee's Republican chairman is offering the expulsion resolution, which requires a 2/3 vote to pass. The last time the House voted to expel a member who hadn't first been convicted of a crime was when Confederates were ousted from the House in 1861.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. The word of the year, according to Merriam-Webster, is authentic. The dictionary says there was a sizable increase for the word's definition, prompted by stories and conversations about AI, celebrity culture, identity, and social media. You're listening to ABC News.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been